Hello, it's Weekend Handicapper from weekendhandicapper.com. In this video, we are going to provide picks and analysis for the 2021 Robert B. Lewis Stakes at Santa Anita Park on Saturday, January 30th. Mile and 16th on the dirt at Santa Anita Park, race number 7. It's a race on the road to the Kentucky Derby, so a Kentucky Derby prep race. So you might be seeing horses that are going to be in the starting gate for Kentucky Derby. So let's go one by one, each contender, a field of 8 here. And at the very end, I'll give you my picks and ways I might bet this race. Number 1, Medina Spirit by Baffert. Now, this race is shaping up to be a really, I think, fun, competitive race. Doesn't mean a Bob Baffert horse won't win the race, but at least you don't have a standout like at least on paper. So that's a good thing. I think we finally have a nice competitive race here, stakes race at Santa Anita. So Medina Spirit, number 1, is a Bob Baffert horse, 5-2 morning line. Second behind Life is Good. We know how good Life is Good, or we think we know. It looks like a really good horse. But it was second behind Life is Good in the sham. So definitely I think Medina Spirit is a contender. Number 2, Rumbauer, 8-1. This horse needs some pace to run out. It's a closer. Mike Smith is aboard. It went a mile and a 16th, which is the distance of this race, the Robert B. Lewis. It went a mile and 16 twice. Once in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile and the other in the American Pharoah at Santa Anita. So if you're looking at it from a horse for course angle, whether or not it can handle Santa Anita, check. Shouldn't be a problem. And can it get the distance of a mile and 16? Yeah, doesn't seem like it has a problem. So if you like a nice price, 8-1, if you think the pace scenario will set up for a closer, then you might think about number 2, Rumbauer. Number 3, Parnelli, 12-1 morning line for John Sheriffs. This horse is consistently in the money. Now, I don't think it has the talent or the class to win this race, but I think this is a good long shot to use in your exactas, trifectas, superfectas, in those vertical wagers. So definitely maybe include the number 3, Parnelli, underneath. Number 4, Hot Rod Charlie. Very impressive and was a game second the last time it ran in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile when it finished at Keeneland, when it finished behind Essential Quality. Joel Rosario is riding for trainer Doug O'Neill. But I think one of the things, or a couple of things to think about with this horse, did that horse fire its best? Was that an anomaly, firing that big speed figure? Try not to fall in love with that speed figure. I know I'm trying not to fall in love with that big speed figure. So will it come back to earth in terms of speed figures and performance? Or is that horse maturing and that's what that horse is capable of? Some negatives, if you want to call them negatives. Doug O'Neill here lately doesn't seem like he does well with horses off the layoff, which is what this horse is. It's been off a while, so it's coming back. And the horse isn't, having the workouts where you're like, wow, okay, this horse is ready to go. Those are some negatives to me. The fact that it's not have standout workouts, because that's one way you judge whether or not a horse is gearing up to run its best in a particular race, and how well the trainer does off the layoff. So those are some negatives. Positive being a huge speed figure, definitely can run against a top-notch field of horses. So, but if it can repeat that Breeders' Cup Juvenile performance, serious threat here. Number 4, Hot Rod Charlie. Number 5, Roman Centurion, 8-1, has 2 races and has improved. Needs to improve dramatically, though, I think, to have a shot here. But if there's a pace collapse, this horse is a closer, and it might get a piece of it. Whether or not it wins, I don't know, but maybe it might at least get up for 2nd, 3rd, or 4th. Who knows? Who knows with that one? That one's a little, I tend to say pass on that horse, but it depends on the pace scenario. Number 6, Waspian. A big long shot here. Early speed horse. So is this horse a rabbit for trainer John Sheriffs? Because he has 2 in here. The 3 and the 6. Parnelli and this one. the number 6 horse. So it just seems outclassed from a class perspective and a speed figure perspective. I'm curious to see if it's a rabbit. So what a rabbit is in horse racing is if you have a trainer has a couple of horses, one of them sends the fast one out to try to wear down its competitors, and the one he thinks a lot of is sitting back there off the pace, and hopefully will wear out the other one so the closer will win. So maybe I'm thinking too much, but at these big prices on these horses, hey, what if? I'm always talking about what if in these videos. That's how you want to think. When you make your bets, what if scenarios? What if you have a pace collapse? What if the number 6 is a rabbit for number 3? Well, shoot, you would win a pretty decent amount of money, I would think, with these odds. So, but as a win perspective, win bet, I don't think number 6 definitely is not going to, I should never say definitely in horse racing because stuff happens. But 20 to 1, I don't see it winning. But it might play a factor in affecting the pace of the race. So that's important. Number 7, Wipe the Slate. Another one for Doug O'Neill. It's interesting. We got Doug O'Neill with a couple horses. We got John Sheriff's with a couple horses. Bob Baffert with a couple horses. So you have 3 trainers that have 6 of the 8 horses in this field. So Doug O'Neill trains again. Although it's been competitive in its 2 starts, I think this horse has some distance limitations. But it will be forwardly placed. So if you think that horse can get that lead and can hang on and cover that ground, then you might have yourself a win bet. But 4 to 1 morning line, I don't know. You don't know. That's why it's tough. I know I keep saying it, but with these lightly raced horses, you just don't know. But if you're going by pedigree and stuff, I don't know if the 7 can get the distance of a mile in the 16th. It might be more of a sprinter. And it does. It does really well on the front end. So, hey, who knows? Who knows? The pedigree stats and stuff might be wrong. And it can get the distance. You just never know. But odds are probably not. But even though this horse might not get the distance, it might get enough distance to be used underneath in your exactas and trifectas, superfectas. The number 7, Wipe the Slate. Number 8, Spielberg, another Baffert horse. Has to be definitely, it's only been out of the money 1 time. So you got to include it in your exactas, trifectas, and supers. Won at today's distance when it barely won. I remember watching that race. I thought for sure that big long shot would win the Los Al Futurity. But Spielberg got it done. Bob Baffert got it done yet again. So definitely number 8 is a contender. So how am I going to bet the 2021 Robert B. Lewis Stakes? Finally, we got a nice competitive stakes race at Santa Anita. I don't usually play Santa Anita too much as far as stakes races because you got short fields, dominant trainers, yada, yada, yada. But this one is a playable race, field of 8, pretty much wide open, I think. So I think a lot of these combinations in these horses could pay something. We'll see. I do like the number 1 Medina Spirit, even though that's probably going to be your post-time favorite. So from a win bet perspective, I'm going to take a shot with Hot Rod Charlie. Hopefully Hot Rod Charlie can repeat or come close to repeating that Breeders' Cup Juvenile race. Even though the Doug O'Neill stats coming off a layoff, even though the horse doesn't seem like it's working lights out. I mean, it's working consistently, but not lights out. But still, at the right price, who knows? You don't want to be wrong on just because, you saw a couple stats that didn't bear out a lot of these other things that you might prefer. So, is it in the best form? No. Is it coming off a layoff? Yes. Let's see what kind of price we get. But number 1 and number 4 for sure are the win contenders in my book. But I'm going to have some exactas too. With the 1 and the 4, so Medina Spirit and Hot Rod Charlie in the win position. Then underneath, I'm going to have the 1, 3, 4, 7, 8. So that's Medina Spirit, Parnelli for sure. I think that's a good long shot to use underneath. And Hot Rod Charlie, the 7 horse White to Slate, and the 8 Spielberg. Let's see what those payouts are going to be. I don't know. I can't guarantee. I'll bet all those combinations. It just depends on how they're paying. Me personally, I don't like to bet exactas that pay under $10 for $1. So, of course, you have it in different denominations, and you put your opinions, back your opinions, bet more denominations on those combinations that you prefer. So, say if I loved the number 1 over the number 3, Parnelli, I think that pay scenario would work out pretty good, let's just say. Not say I'm going to bet that the most, but we'll have to see what those payouts are. But I would put more money on that one if I thought that scenario would work or come to fruition more than the 1 and the 7, let's say. So there's all kinds of ways. That's why I love those kind of bets. You can back your opinions on, or you base the amount that you wager on your opinions, so you can put them in different increments. It's a good strategy to have. If you're right, if your opinions were right, then you're going to get compensated more. But again, win bets on the 1 and the 4, or that's my win contenders, probably have the win bet on the number 4, Hot Rod Charlie, because I think the number 1, Medina Spirit, will get bet down, probably be your post-time favorite. And exactas, the 1 and 4 over the 1, 3, 4, 7, 8. Who you like in the Robert B. Lewis Stakes at Santa Anita on Saturday, January 30th, race number 7? Go ahead and leave them in the comments below. I'd love to hear who you're going to bet and what you think, how the race is going to play out. Go ahead and leave a comment. And as always, if you like this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you can get all the latest tips, tools, and resources to help you win money on thoroughbred horse racing. Until next time, this Weekend Handicapper, happy handicapping, smart wagering.